Okay, part 2 of how I record, edit, get my tones. Basically, this is the Freeware DAW that I use, the Kristal audio engine. It's just a basic mixer. You do have some choices in this section for adding chorus, reverb, delay, and even some distortion, but it's not very good. You can add 2 of those effects or an EQ to each track. So basically I've got my backing track here lined up, and I've got 2 tracks of guitar that I've recorded. And if I scroll this slider out here, I can see I recorded a lot of guitar. So I mean, that second time I took 26 minutes, 30 minutes of recording on the Jackson, and I can see each of those song sections, those takes that I made, you know, to see the best one, find the best one. It's usually going to be the last one where I punch at the screen, and that's my marker. And normally I would stop the camera if I've made a bunch of mistakes, and I just try to get the last 1 or 2 and don't have to process so much video, you know, so anyway, I can grab one of these, I can slide it on up to the last take, slide it back, line up with the song, take this one, slide it up to the last take, slide it back to the song. So what happened here was I had backed up the song to about the middle and replayed the second half because I made some mistake in here somewhere. In fact, you can even see where I had stopped playing. I can slide this back now. So now we're out to 10 minutes of audio. And you can see where there was that middle break somewhere. I don't know, I got messed up. And so I actually backed up the song, and I can take this half here, take my little cut tool, come over here and make a cut, come back, get my pointer, and I can separate this so I'll be able to utilize that. So that's where I have a choice if I'm going, you know, okay, so I didn't get it all in one take like I did this guitar. But that's my bass guitar, or that's where I start from, you know. Then the second take, if I played so much, if I don't get it by then, I can take the second half and splice it together. Basically, I'll pull this one back to wherever I like it, where it lines up, and I'll take this one forward, you know, and end up lining up the ending, and it's going to be in there somewhere, and they'll blend. So I think that's what's going to happen here. Looks to me like it might actually end here like that. So now I have kind of a good idea what I'm working with here. I can slide this on further and get an even deeper look and a deeper look. Take it way in like that. 1 second, 2 seconds, 3 seconds. So I'm looking at about 17 seconds at a time here. Now I can go ahead and drag some of this noise forward. That's just where I'm touching my strings and stuff. And I can see just in the sound wave to the backing track to where I start playing that I know it's got to be more like in that area, you know, lining this up, this, just to get the basic close, you know, to where I'm going to be. This is that long fade in, so I can skip back, press play, So now here I have EQ, guitar 1, guitar 2, backing track. So I'm going to turn this EQ on and activate it. Turn this one on and activate it. So now I have guitar 2 and 3. So I need to activate the low, the mid, and the high. Both of those. Now, I already know that I want one guitar panned left. I might switch them. If it doesn't match the backing track, the guitar on the left is doing the lead, or the part, I can switch them. But right here it shows me 84-16. I'm going to put that about 95 and 5. Get a real nice separation. It's hard to get it just right. There we go, 95. Put this one 95 to the right, the left. Now I already kind of know my curve that corrects. I keep my pedal set to where it sounds kind of, set up for with the amp in the room. So when I plug it in here to the computer, I compensate a little bit. I bring the gain down on the low end. This is bass. That's 10, 6. Bring this one down to about 6, 7. Then I bump the mid up to about 6. And I bump the gain, the high up to about 6. Now I want to smooth out this bass curve, the low end, and just make it a nice ramp, or that's the cutoff point. So this one's going to be to make it more of a ramp shape. This bottom knob, turn to the left all the way. That gives it more of a ramp. Then this one will adjust this hump. So if I slide this one a little bit more to the right, slide this one to the right, that's just pulling down this bit low end. Now on the mid range, this one will move this hump left and right, but I want a little bit more of a scoop in the middle there between the high and the mid. So I'm gonna use this knob to bring that scoop down a little bit. Same thing on this one. And I'm not trying to get these exact numbers, and I use two separate guitars that'll have their own tonal differences. So this one brings that even more sharper. So I can bring it smoothed up, takes away some, add some mids, or scoop it down even more like that. So I'm just going to use that one a little bit to the left. Same thing here. Bring that hump up. Okay, so those are two pretty similar shapes. Now I'm going to take this mid hump and bring it over to the right just a little bit. Add a little more of a dip in there. Okay. So now I would just start playing it and lining up the sound. Adjusting my levels. So I'm going to bring the guitars up, watching for any clipping. Okay, so right off the bat I'm finding this guitar is a little bit quieter than this one as far as where I had the settings when I recorded it. It's not registering as high on this, and I'm already almost maxed on these two. So what I can do is use this slider here and bring that up in the middle. Boost that up. Kind of match this one. Make sure none of them are peaking, topping out, going flat. That's where setting that input level at the beginning before I started recording was important. So now I've got kind of two similar sound waves here. I can see better. and that made it clip here. So I can shut that up. And just kind of move my ear around and see how it's sounding. And the two guitars look pretty equal in volume. Okay, so basically that's it. I will play around with that, clean things up, fix the, fix everything that I see that needs fixed. And like here, I got to bring this end tail all the way back. All the way back. To the ending of the song. Then up here, I'll just bring the end of this back a little bit. I'm going to hold Control and right click, and that lit up this blue marker. So if I was to export this track right now, go up here and hit export the mix down, it would let me do that, but it ain't ready. So now I can skip back to the beginning, hit save, always, and basically, so now I'm going to play with this for, I don't know, half hour, whatever, set all the levels, dial in the backing track. Sometimes I've added a little reverb to the backing tracks to give it some sound and scoop some of the mids out if the guitars are really heavy. And yeah, so mess around, play around with it, make your recording the way you like it. Okay, so welcome back. I did go in and I'll make a few cuts. So like here's where both guitars stop. There's a pause there in the song. Here's where he says damage incorporated. In fact, if I go in, zoom in a little further on that, I can come in, make a cut here, here, grab the pointer and turn up where he says that. So let's test that. So it made that whisper just match a little bit better the with the louder guitars. It made the whisper a little bit louder. So now I can pull this out. So here's that cut I just made. I can see you go back through. So here's where I had some string noise. This guitar is quiet for a while and I'm just holding on to the guitar on this break. So I've been testing for clipping, set my levels where everything's lining up, and testing these little pause breaks out. So like we'll listen to that. Okay, so there's a damage incorporated, right? Let's zoom in. I've got my cut tool, so I'm going to cut this, cut it here, and blast that. So when he whispers damage incorporated, it stands out a little better in the video. So that's the right guitar. So making little snips here and there. So see, I use the cut tool. I can put it back anytime I want. So like there was one little maybe string noise right there. You would never even probably notice it, but so you can just clean it up a little bit, bring it back. Same thing this way. See, there's just a little bit of nothing there that you can't even hear. Unless I'm really listening for it, but clean those up. Make it a little more decent size. Okay, so I can travel further down the line. Here was a little pause break. I'll check it. So that's where both guitars stop, and he says damage incorporated again. So I want to hear that again. This one I'm not going to turn up because he has that cymbal ringing on. Well, maybe right there. We'll turn it up. Snip it here. Grab that. Make it louder. Now I'll test it. Yeah, that didn't work. I cut it in the wrong spot. So yeah, I think we'll just leave that one. So I can start to hear how it's mixed and blending and double, triple check it. Okay, so I don't want to spoil the song. Next will be editing the video and, you know, adding some little special effects, I guess. And that takes a while to process everything I've shot already for this series, so check it out. Okay, so after 5 minutes, now it pops up and says 8 hours and 27 minutes remaining. So